Hurricane Alex has made landfall as a dangerous Category 2 hurricane along the northeast Mexican coastline. I'm Mike Naso from IPR with the latest on our hurricane, and you can see the entire Atlantic basin the last several hours. In the last 24 hours or so, Hurricane Alex has been the main feature here in the western Gulf of Mexico, finally bending west into Mexico. If it had kept gaining latitude, Texas would have got hit a lot harder than it is, although it is still being dealt a significant blow there as the hurricane makes landfall. Now ignore what you see on the screen. I do have the latest as of 9 p.m. Central Time. That's 10 p.m. Eastern. The eye of Hurricane Alex has made landfall. It's done so near Soto La Marina, Mexico, with winds estimated at 105 miles per hour, not 100, so it's been strengthening into landfall. And the last pressure was 947 millibars. That was recorded by the Air Force. And again, the record for June in the Atlantic is 946 with Hurricane Audrey. It continues to move west at about 10 miles per hour. It's going to eventually weaken and dissipate over the mountainous terrain of Mexico. But again, a powerful hurricane. It's too early to tell if it achieved Category 3 strength. Sometimes, post-analysis, when the report comes out, it is determined that the hurricane was a different intensity than operationally estimated. Right now, it looks like it is a Category 2, although the pressure is more like a Category 4 hurricane, and had this had another day over water, there's little doubt, I think, that Alex could have been an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane, which for June is very, very rare. No doubt, we still have the hurricane warnings up for portions of Texas all the way down the Mexican coastline as the hurricane makes landfall, and that will continue. The wind radii with the system, you could see it was smaller as it hit the Yucatan Peninsula, but since then the wind radius has really gotten larger, and you can see the hurricane force winds right in here impacting a large stretch of the Mexican coastline, and you could have potentially hurricane force gusts in Texas as the hurricane continues to roll on through. Now there's the latest infrared satellite loop as the hurricane makes landfall. Right at the end there you can see the center of the eye has crossed the coast, so it has officially made landfall. It's actually been out there for quite a few days. If you remember, a lot of times we get these storms in June in the Bay of Campeche that come and go very fast, usually don't even have a chance to become hurricanes. But once every, say, 10 years, we get a storm like Brett in '99 or Alex here in 2010 that has enough time to become a significant hurricane, and clearly anywhere within this eye is experiencing winds sustained 105 miles per hour perhaps, and gusting as high as 120, very, very possible with a hurricane of this intensity as that hurricane continues to make landfall. There's another look at the water vapor, clearly a well-organized Category 2 hurricane with that Category 4 pressure. The main reason why the hurricane didn't strengthen into a Category 3 or 4 was because it had an outer wind maxima, underwind eye wall replacement cycle, right as it was making landfall, and that inhibited it from becoming an even more dangerous hurricane than it already is. But clearly you can see a large moist envelope, unusually moist for this time of year, and Hurricane Alex is going to go down as, you know, a hurricane that really kicked off the 2010 season, and we just don't know what else this hurricane season has in store for us as Alex continues to make landfall. Again, there's the look at the infrared. The eye clearly inland now. You can see the eye is overland, is past the coastline, and anywhere within this region is experiencing hurricane force winds, and they could be pretty nasty, no doubt about that. Now the radar out of Brownsville, Texas, you can see here, there's the eye making landfall, and again, it really tightened up. It looks very similar to Hurricane Charlie, Hurricane Dennis. A lot of those hurricanes I mentioned earlier with the tight little eye walls that can achieve Category 4 strength, so it's very, very fortunate for people in Mexico that this didn't have another few hours over water, because with that pressure as low as it is, those winds would have responded, and it would have quickly become at least a Category 3, potentially even a Category 4. So again, we lucked out with this one. You can see a large band of heavy weather heading through Harlingen. It already hit Brownsville. McAllen, you're next. Corpus up there, you're not getting much yet, but there is some rainfall and some heavy bands headed your way, and there could be a lot of severe weather with that as well, and that's why it's so important for you to stay tuned just in case we do end up seeing a tornado or some kind of severe weather impact from this hurricane, as it's already showing on radar. There's another look at the beautiful water vapor as Hurricane Alex made landfall. Not a care in the world for the hurricane. It pushed itself as far as it could go, stayed as long as it could over water, and became as strong as it was able to, which again, for June 30th, it is very, very rare. Very rare. We're talking 53 years, really, since we've seen anything like this in the Gulf of Mexico. And speaking of that, that was Hurricane Audrey in June of 57. In fact, about 53 years ago today, the remnants of Audrey were spinning up into New England. Audrey officially became a tropical storm and quickly a hurricane, and then a Category 4 with a 946 millibar pressure before making landfall near, say, Cameron, Louisiana, and it killed hundreds. It was the deadliest hurricane impact in the United States until Katrina 5 years ago. However, there is some indication that maybe Audrey's intensity was overestimated a bit. Nevertheless, we know now that Audrey, for all we know, could have had the same situation as Alex and never gotten above Category 2 strength. But the fact is, the pressure was as low, and it hasn't been as low in the Gulf of Mexico in June until this very moment with Hurricane Alex. One more look at the radar out of Brownsville before I send you on your way. You could clearly see there's the eye of the Category 2 Hurricane Alex making landfall in Mexico. Clearly a powerful hurricane, the first tropical storm of the 2010 season, the first hurricane of the season, and pretty close to being the first major hurricane of the season. And clearly that eye taking that little southwesterly dive there right at the end as the high pressure builds in, as we forecasted it would for the last few days. So we'll see what happens with the impact of Alex, but Godspeed to all those in the eye wall, because this hurricane is a very dangerous storm. I'm Mike Naso from IPR 365. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to IPR365.com over the next several days and throughout all of hurricane season 2010, as Alex certainly has ramped us up, and we'll see what else is in store. That's the latest on Hurricane Alex. I'll see you next time.